Women will tangle with the Garden City Broncbusters for the second time in this basketball season. I'm sure you can tell that it is a noisy Garden City Arena. The pep band right below us creating quite an atmosphere. A limited crowd on hand so far, but we expect a very, very good basketball game. The Blue Dragons are 23-1 on the season. The only loss, that setback at the hands of Seward a couple of games ago in the sports arena. The Dragons are ranked number 10 in the country. And they'll play a team today that they beat up on January 16th back in the sports arena, 87-56. Darren Dunn's going to be telling you, though, it's a different look to the Garden City team as they have added a player that was injured on that particular occasion. Garden City, well, the Broncbusters are 11-13 overall. They are 6-9 in the Jayhawk Conference. We'll take a 1-minute break. Be back with more pregame.
For over 15 years, Erickson Custom Building has designed, built, and remodeled homes and commercial projects in central Kansas. Whether you're looking to replace a deck, wanting to build an addition, or remodel your kitchen, our customers receive individualized attention, quality craftsmanship, and exceptional customer service from start to finish. Erickson Custom Building offers new construction and remodeling services in addition to commercial and insurance projects. Visit our website today at ericksoncustombldg.com.
The Hutch Medicine Shop and the Hutch Blue Dragons have a lot in common. In addition to our logos both being blue, all three pharmacists at the Medicine Shop graduated from HCC. Rick Stone in 1984, Brent Bellman in 2001, and Lacey Stone in 2007. In fact, the Medicine Shop has employed over a dozen HCC students over the past 15 years who are now Kansas pharmacists. The Medicine Shop and the Blue Dragons working together as one team.
Well, we are so happy to have you aboard on this Saturday afternoon. I'm Rusty Hills, my partner today, Darren Dunn. We've given Glenn the afternoon off, and we are so happy that you decided to share part of your day with us. Darren, always good to work with you, my friend. Have a good call.
Thank you. It's always fun. You mentioned how loud it was because the band is directly below us, and I know the last time I was out here, that's what we dealt with. And just to show you exactly how loud it is, if you can't hear it, which I know you can, if you think it's bad for you and I, they have a lot of bitty dancers coming in for the Broncbusters, and one little girl all the way across the other side of the court, she came through the door into the gymnasium with her ears plugged. It's so loud, not only beneath us, but in this entire arena at Conestoga.
I heard the band director down below before it started playing. He said, now guys, I want it loud. No, I want it louder than that.
Whatever is louder than loud, they've definitely achieved that here in Garden City. In the open, Rusty mentioned you're going to see a little bit of a different look from the Garden City Broncbusters, and that is true. So when you go back and you look at that first game in the sports arena, Hutchinson out-rebounded Garden City by 13, made 17 more field goals. Garden City actually had 30 turnovers. 19 came from a couple of their starting guards. Well, that's where Garden City at least hopes that the 5'5" sophomore out of Lexington, South Carolina, the formerly injured Talia Roberts, can come in and provide her 18 points a game that she's given this team throughout the course of the season.
It's a basketball team that has had limited success in the conference, but it's a basketball team that certainly is a great deal better with the addition of Talia Roberts.
She has been good for this team when it comes to scoring. In fact, in her last outing, had 23 points, 8 rebounds to go with it. She also shared the ball, had 3 assists and 4 steals. The only problem with her last game, she had 6 turnovers. She averages about half of that. So they need her to take care of the ball, especially against the Blue Dragons, who turned over the Broncbusters 30 times in the sports arena earlier this season. It's time to take a look at your starting lineups between these two teams. We start with the Broncbusters, the home team of Garden City, 11-13 on the year. Of course, lost to the Blue Dragons, 87-56, back earlier this year in the sports arena. Alyssa Boyce, she also got the nod last time out between these two teams. 5'5" freshman from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. She averages 11.3 points per game in conference play. Felicity Houston also got the start against the Blue Dragons in the arena. She's 5'5", a freshman from Grand Prairie, Texas, wearing number 11. Averages only 4 points per game. The aforementioned Talia Roberts, 5'5", sophomore out of Lexington, South Carolina, missed that first game with an injured ankle. She's back today, wearing number 12 and averaging 18 points per game. Daz Johnson, wearing number 25, 6'1", sophomore from Tyler, Texas. She averages 9, had 9 in her last game, and actually had 11 against the Blue Dragons earlier in Hutchinson. And finally, Desjanae Pajot. She did not start, came off the bench against the Blue Dragons at the Sports Arena. She's the 5'9" freshman at forward out of Grand Prairie, Texas. For the Blue Dragons, they've really settled into this starting lineup, like who they have going out there to begin the games. They'll keep it the same. Abby Ogle, 5'8" freshman out of Baldwin City, Kansas, wearing number 2. Tia Bradshaw, 5'8" sophomore out of Dodge City, Kansas, number 12, the guard. Of course, another Desjanae in this contest. It's Hutchinson's very own Desjanae Roebuck, the 5'11" sophomore out of Olathe, Kansas. She is a forward. Michaela Vanette, the 5'6" freshman from St. Paul, Minnesota, wearing number 23. Had 10 points against the Broncbusters the last time these two teams met, including 3 of 5 from distance. And the 6-foot sophomore from local Kansas, Jada Mickens, wearing number 32. Rusty, the lights go out. It gets a little bit louder as the Broncbusters are officially introduced here in Garden City.
Yep, strobe effect. I'm not sure I've been in a noisier arena, and I've been in Allen Fieldhouse when they tried to set a record for noise. This is unbelievable. Of course, the band will quiet down considerably when the game starts. I'm just hoping you can hear us.
The decibel level is definitely high. You and I, we get a little bit of that reverb as well, since the drum is right below us. So we're getting those marky good vibrations as we get set for this one here at Garden City.
Well, if Garden City doesn't do well this afternoon, it isn't because the band failed to create a festive atmosphere.
That is correct. You mentioned there aren't a ton of fans here. The ones that are here for Garden City, a majority of those children as they get ready for some halftime performances here in Garden City. Again, the Blue Dragons won the first meeting between these two teams, 87-56. And really, Rusty, the last few games for Garden City have not been easy. They've had to take on now the top 3 teams in their side of the conference. They're on the west side of the bracket.
Yeah, they're measuring themselves against the best this league has to offer. And the 2 teams at the top, one of which is Hutchinson. Hutchinson tied with Seward for the lead at 14-1. Barton and Pratt next. Dodge right down the list. Dragons will get Dodge in the Sports Arena on Wednesday of next week. Pratt on Monday at Pratt.
Garden City losers of its last 2. 1 and 4 are the Broncbusters in their last 5 meetings. The Blue Dragons are 9-1 over the course of the last 10 games. Jada Mickens gets the tip, taps it to Vanette, and the offense will be controlled by Abby Ogle. Dragons moving from right to left as you listen on your dial and also as you watch on the Blue Dragon Sports Network. Broncbuster Boyce got a hand on that one, tapped it out of bounds harmlessly.
Already they've gotten 2 touches on passes of the Blue Dragons. Very aggressive early on, man-to-man.
Dragons in the road reds. Blue numerals with the white trim. Broncbusters in home whites. Have the brown and yellow trim to go with it for the Broncbusters. 9 to shoot. Left elbow is Mickens. Looks at a cutting Vanette. Decides to pop from 17. And that will go down the toilet bowl and in. Dragons lead it early 2-0.
Cork screwed it in.
Dragons showing a little bit of pressure. Roberts brings the ball up the court. It's 12-on-12. Roberts guarded by Tia Bradshaw. Man-to-man defense by the Blue Dragons. Mickens working underneath against the 6'1" Daz Johnson. Johnson turns around, decides to kick it out to Roberts from the corner for 3, rimmed out. Rebound to Tia Bradshaw. Bradshaw heads across the timeline. Goes into the left corner to Vanette. Vanette. Pump fake, starts to dribble, decides better against it. And the Dragons will run some offense. Ogle over into the right wing to Roebuck. Roebuck back to Ogle. Ogle straight ahead 3. Tried to bank it, couldn't get it to go. Almost had her own rebound. Long rebound out to the 3-point arc. And falling to the ground was the Broncbuster, and she walked with it. She was on the ground and tried to roll around a little bit too much. That was Pajot turning it over.
Dragons with a 2-0 lead. 2 trips down the floor for the Blue Dragons, and on neither occasion did they get a really outstanding shot.
Only a minute 20 gone by. Van Etten goes to the right side of the defense, gets a momentary double team. Sends it back to Bradshaw. Bradshaw hands off at the right wing to Van Etten. Van Etten reverses the court. Ogle now to Roebuck. Roebuck looks for Ogle and will get a team control foul. It was Mickens underneath, setting the illegal screen. I say Mickens, but the official actually showed 33. There's no 33. It's for the Broncbusters.
I think you're right that it was Mickens.
Foul actually goes against Pajot. I beg your pardon. Her first.
Okay.
And the Dragons will get a fresh 30. Left block ball goes to Bradshaw. Back out top to Roebuck for three. Hit off the front rim and no good. Pulled down by Houston. Here comes Garden City. Houston goes left wing to Roberts. Roberts from 18. Air ball. Rebounded once again by Bradshaw. Bradshaw behind her back. It's by Alyssa Boyce. She's all the way in the middle of the paint. Tried to make it off the glass. No good. Too strong. Rebound by Alyssa Boyce. 1-on-2 opportunities. She drives in against Van Etten. Kicks it out to Roberts. On the inside to Johnson. And Johnson was fouled on the way up.
Got a mismatch on the inside against Michaela Van Etten. Too much size. All the Dragons can do is foul.
It is the first against Van Etten. And Daz Johnson will go to the line to shoot a pair. 2-0 early lead for the Blue Dragons. Broncbusters a chance to tie. 2 minutes and 9 seconds gone here in the first quarter. In Garden City, Johnson makes on the first free throw. And the Broncbusters will change up who they have on the blocks. Roberts at 5'5". Settles in between Roebuck and Van Etten. Dribble, spin for Daz Johnson. Bends the knees, and the second free throw is good. We're tied at 2. Full court pressure. It's a trap shown by the Broncbusters. Dragons beat it. 2-on-1 opportunity. Ogle right over to Mickens for 2 from the left side.
That was classic. The Dragons beat the pressure to get the 2-on-1 and made them pay.
Dragons fall back. A little bit of a three-quarter court pressure. Right side baseline goes Houston, and she got the body contact from Abby Ogle, her first personal. Broncbusters will go underneath the basket on the right side to inbound. Officials will wait for a Broncbuster to tie her shoe. Double knot 'em, they say. Felicity Houston gets geared up, and the Broncbusters nearly turn it over on the inbound. Saved by Dejanay Pajot. Into the lane, 2 steps and good from the right side. It's Alyssa Boyce for 2. We're tied at 4. 7:23 left in the first quarter of play. Tia Bradshaw works the right side over to Van Etten. Takes it to the right elbow to Mickens. Mickens step back. She drops it in. Mickens has all 6 of the Blue Dragon points. Dragons lead at 6-4. Broncbusters have not put up the other 2 points yet on the scoreboard. We're in the 2-point contest. Pajot tries to return the favor from 18, and Mickens' face no good, but offensive rebound to the Broncbusters. Roberts for 3, left it short. Abby Ogle comes away with the rebound. Dragons settle in the front court. Roebuck was open underneath for a moment. Ogle didn't go there and got bracketed off. Right side wing, Bradshaw for 3, no good. Kept alive on the offensive rebound. Dragons get a fresh 30. Man-to-man defense still being shown here by the Broncbusters. Abby Ogle, up top 3. This time, yes, nothing but the bottom of the net.
Abby Ogle might be the toughest of the Dragons. Does not shy away from contact.
2-1-2 pressure put on by the Blue Dragons, stolen away by Abby Ogle. She'll go on the one-on-one break against Roberts, puts on a nifty move, and that'll force a timeout as she puts it in. 5 points straight for Abby Ogle. It's an 11-4 lead for the Blue Dragons. 4 minutes gone by. We're back in half a minute.
Parking lots and driveways can be expensive to install. This is Derek Fees. Let APAC Kansas Shears Division help you properly maintain these investments. Patching, crack filling, sealing, and striping are just some of the services we provide. Call APAC today at 662-2112. Are you tired of your dusty or muddy driveway? APAC Kansas Shears Division is here to help. This is Derek Fees. Call us and ask us about our asphalt millings. If you are a do-it-yourselfer, arrange for pickup or delivery at your convenience. Call APAC today at 620-662-2112.
So full court pressure being shown by both teams. It has worked out a lot better so far for the Blue Dragons of Hutchinson Community College.
Hutchinson off to a hot shooting start, 5 of 8. Well, the Broncbusters are up 1 of 5.
Remember, the Blue Dragons in the first meeting made 17 more field goals than the Broncbusters to that 87-56 victory. A late substitution is made. Normally you don't see that coming out of a timeout. I can only suspect there was perhaps an injury to Felicity Houston. She comes out, and Lanika Johnson from Shreveport, Louisiana, comes in for the Broncbusters. And now we'll mop up the floor a little bit out of the timeout. That's a little far away from the bench, but if that ends up closer to the bench and it's deemed it was done by the team, that could be a delay of game warning at some point in this game. 11-4, your score. 4 minutes gone by in the first quarter. Blue Dragons lead it. Dropping back into this 2-1-2 trap defense. Broncbusters get it across the timeline. Jalea Bellany runs the point, guarded by Milan Schimmel in there for the Dragons. It's Schimmel, Mickens, Ogle, Roebuck, and Van Ett. Schimmel on Bellany. She has to hurry, but picked up her dribble. 5 seconds to shoot. The ball is 34 feet away. A hop and a skip for Boyce. She pulls up from 2, and she banked it in. Got her foot on the line, and Boyce now has 4. Dragons ahead by 5. 5:20 remains here in the first quarter of action. Darren Dunn and Rusty Hilst with you. Roebuck tried to pass the ball across the court, nearly had it stolen away by Jalea Bellany.
If you're going to try those skip passes, you must make sure you throw them far enough.
Here's the crazy thing. You mentioned how many hands the Broncbusters got on some opening passes, but still have not really cleanly stolen one away from the Blue Dragons. Dragons with 15 to shoot. Schimmel runs the point, guarded by Johnson. Goes right wing to Ogle. Ball swings back around to Roebuck. Here comes Van Ett with 5 to shoot. Looking inside to Mickens. Mickens not open, 2 to shoot. Ogle at the three-point arc doesn't know how much time is left, and it's a shot clock violation on the Dragons.
One of the more inefficient offensive sets of the season so far.
Really surprising to see from Abby Ogle. She's really normally cognizant of what's going on and of the shot clock and things around her. This time she provides the trap on Boyce. Boyce just does get out of it. Gets it to Bellany. Bellany from 17, air ball, out of bounds to the Blue Dragons. 4:41 left in the first quarter of play. Dragons with the early 11-6 lead. Milan Schimmel brings the ball across the court. Has Van Ett to her left. Van Ett guarded by Boyce. Dribble between the legs, she picked it up. And we'll work the ball around the horn. Mickens got a screen underneath from Van Ett. Got the entry pass from the left block, through the contact, and one for Jada Mickens,
who already has 8.
Foul goes against Boyce, her first. And Kelsey Brett will check in for Abby Ogle. Mickens had a monster game, not only in her last game, but in the last time these two teams met. Had 15 in her last contest, 15 in the last game she played against Garden City. That free throw is good. Mickens has 9. It's an 8-point lead for the Blue Dragons. Mickens and Ogle, the only 2 Blue Dragons to score. Kelsey Brett, good defense on Bellany. Just about made Bellany step out of bounds, and right before Bellany did step out of bounds in front of John Onches on the Blue Dragon bench, she threw it off Kelsey Brett, who was standing on the sideline. Van Ett, Schimmel, Roebuck, Mickens, and Brett in for the Blue Dragons. Roberts swings the ball up to Bellany. Bellany for 3, no good. Rebounded by Van Ett. No outlet pass needed for Michaela Van Ett. She brings the ball up the court. Gets a high screen momentarily from Roebuck, but didn't use it. Schimmel left wing to Brett. Brett looking inside to Roebuck. She was covered up by the Broncbusters. Left-hand dribble to the right elbow, and a nice little runner for Van Ett. She becomes the 3rd Blue Dragon to score.
And the Blue Dragons have the first double-digit lead of the afternoon.
3.5 left in the first quarter of play. A pause and a step through by Bellany. Goes left block to Johnson, who almost lost it. Back outside to Roberts. Roberts nearly threw it away. She was looking for Alyssa Boyce. And waiting in the passing lane was Michaela Van Nett, but she knocked it out of bounds.
The one constant staple of the Blue Dragons all season long, constant that is, except for one half of basketball against Seward, has been good defense.
Dragons drop back into that man-to-man defense. Roberts spinning into the lane, had the ball knocked away, but a late whistle on the contact by Jada Mickens.
First foul on Jada, third as a team.
Roberts the second, Broncbuster to head to the line. First one is too strong. Normally a solid free throw shooter at 82% on the year. Had 6 turnovers in her last contest against Seward. Averages half of that. Misses the second free throw, but pulled away by Tanae Boyd. Broncbusters with the fresh 30. Left-hand dribble for Johnson against Mickens. Forces one up, no good. Great defense by Mickens, and Johnson barely drew rim, if at all. And a long pass from half court, too strong from Schimmel to Roebuck. Turnover Dragons.
Pretty cleanly played game so far, each team with 2 turnovers.
7 minutes and 10 seconds gone by. Dragons lead it by 10. Darren Dunn, Rusty Hills with you, as the Broncbusters nearly turned it away, but because Roberts stepped in to receive that pass so quickly, Kelsey Brett, body to body, got the foul. 4 now on the Dragons. 2 fouls against the Broncbusters. Roberts calling for her teammate Melanie to come up and get it, and she did, but had it knocked away out of bounds by Kelsey Brett. Brett playing very scrappy in the early minutes here in Garden City.
We alluded to her toughness earlier in the broadcast. She loves contact.
Roberts, guarded by Schimmel, kicks it right corner to Boyce. Boyce works it back out front to Bellany. Bellany tried to stop and pop over Kelsey Brett, had very little room, and it showed on the air ball.
Second time she's put up an air ball from that same area of the floor.
Felicity Houston will check in for the Broncbusters, and for the first time, the Blue Dragons will send in Tiana Kimbrough, who really hit a stride before she had that injury and has come back from that injury still playing pretty well.
Dragons will need her for sure in the postseason.
In 14 minutes of play against Garden City in the arena, Tiana had 8 points and 8 rebounds and averages on the season about a rebound every 2 minutes. Inside to Dejanay Roebuck. Van Nett found her. Roebuck went through the contact and scored it. The foul goes against Boyd, her first, team's third, and Dejanay is on the scoreboard with a chance to add to it. Roebuck knocks down the free throw, and Tia Bradshaw will check back in. Kelsey Brett will check out. Dragons have a 19-6 lead. I was hesitating to tell you because they're late getting it on the scoreboard here. As Roberts knifes into the lane and couldn't hit a couple of free throws earlier, but able to get going here with a nice step through the lane through the defenders. And Roberts scores for the first time in this contest. Van Nett left all alone from 3, and on the G of the Garden City logo, knocks down the triple.
Hutchinson shooting exceptionally well, 9 of 12.
22-8 your score. Turnover. Tia Bradshaw took it away. She's all alone for the layup. And Tia Bradshaw becomes the 5th Blue Dragon to score in this contest. 16-point lead for Hutchinson. 1:20 left in the first. A near travel through the lane by Alyssa Boyce. She had it blocked away out of bounds. Mass substitution coming for Garden City. Shy Mitchell in her second season is not happy, and she is sending in the reserves. Lanika Johnson checks in. Deborah Ford is in the contest. Sarah Al-Sabaheen. 5 new fresh faces, including Kelsey McHenry, for the Broncbusters. Ball goes to Ford. She gives it up quickly to Al-Sabaheen. Al-Sabaheen on the inside to Ford. Ford turned around too quickly, got those feet going before the dribble. Travel.
Turnover number 4 on the Broncbusters. Hutchinson with just 2. Been a nice quarter of basketball for the Dragons.
A minute left in this quarter. 24-8, Blue Dragons on top. Schimmel from the spot. Van Nett just hit a big three. Gives it to Van Nett about 7 feet away. This time for 3, no good, but offensive rebound to Roebuck. Roebuck had it knocked away temporarily, able to keep it alive. Ball goes from Schimmel to Kimbrough. Layup no good. Broncbusters coming the other way. Bellany guarded by Schimmel. Tries to make the entry pass, had it knocked away, and it would have been a clean steal for Schimmel, but she accidentally kicked it with her foot.
.29 seconds left in the first quarter. Hutchinson on cruise control.
16-point advantage. Broncbusters with 23 to work with on the shot clock. About a 15-second differential. Blue Dragons will get it back if they can secure the rebounds. Melanie picks up her dribble. Goes inside to McHenry. McHenry tried to pull up against Tenney. Tenney wasn't having it. Offensive rebound by Ford. Ford tried to go up against Kimbrough, and Kimbrough said no. Blocked away. Dragons with the shot clock dark can run some offense, but we have a double dribble violation on Tia Bradshaw.
17 seconds left.
Went through the lane. I think she thought she was going to receive some contact that never came. And went into the double dribble. Johnson tried to get across the double team. Went into it. It was provided by Van Nett and Schimmel. And Van Nett and Schimmel forced her out of bounds. So the Dragons with 13 seconds. Another opportunity to close out the first quarter with one shot. Van Nett looking for a long three. Left it short. Rebound by the Broncbusters. Outlet pass, long heave from the other volleyball attack line. Bellany drew the backboard, but that was all after a quarter of play. Dragons on top, 24-8. We're back after 1 minute.
Tax reform impacts virtually every tax return this year. That means yours, too. If you're wondering what that means for you and your refund, but don't want to spend hours reading the tax code, head over to H&R Block. No one knows tax reform better than Block. Their tax pros will help you find every credit and deduction available, so you get every dollar you deserve. Because wouldn't you rather spend more time thinking about what to do with your maximum refund and less time figuring out what a TCJA qualifying eligible dependent is? Hint, it's your kid. In person or online, Block has your back.
Visit H&R Block in Hutchinson, Lyons, and Ellsworth.
The Rothy family name has always been connected to serving the Hutchinson community, and you can expect the same kind of high-quality service when you visit Rothy Family Flooring. They believe you deserve to be treated like family, so they've invested in their own talented and trustworthy installers to lay your floors. No outside contractors will ever knock on your door if Rothy works for you. Let them show you their expansive selection of name brand flooring and trust your home to the best. Rothy Family Flooring, 325 North Main, Hutchinson.
Dragons closed out the last 6 minutes of that first quarter on a 13-4 run.
Hutchinson had a nice shooting quarter. The Dragons cashed 10 of 17, 59%. Garden City frigid, 21% on 3 of 14. Hutchinson won the glass 11-8 and won the turnover count 3 as opposed to 5. A 16-point Hutchinson lead in Conestoga Arena.
And it's not just like a lot of those are bricks and near misses. We're talking a handful of air balls put up in that first quarter by the Broncbusters. Busters open up the second quarter with the ball. Johnson, a drive to the lane, and she was fouled. Caught the body of Keely Tenney, her first. From the left block under the basket, Broncbusters will inbound. For the Dragons, it's Schimmel. Kramer has checked in. Keely Tenney, Tiana Kimbrough, and Tia Bradshaw. Right side block. Ball goes to Bellany. And Tia Bradshaw got caught with her hand in the cookie jar. Fouled Bellany on the way up. So Jalea will head to the free throw line for 2. Third trip to the line for the Broncbusters. Johnson opened up the afternoon hitting the first two. Roberts then missed both of her opportunities, and Bellany just knocked down her first.
Just 3 field goals so far for the Broncbusters.
Bellany had 13 points against the Blue Dragons the last outing, but had 9 turnovers in that game. Second free throw, no good. They're pulled away by Keely Tenney, who's coming off a career-high 20 points against Northwest Tech. Gives it up to Bradshaw, who has it at the left wing. Outside to Tenney. Schimmel will have to set the offense up again with 15 to shoot. High screen set by Kimbrough. Kimbrough working that left elbow, free throw line area. Sets a screen for Kramer, who goes into the paint. Didn't receive the ball, but here's Tenney from the left side. The right-handed lay-in from the left side, no good. Fight for the rebound out of bounds. Last touched by Garden City.
Tenney took the shot from the left side of the basket with the right hand. Might have been a lot easier had she used the opposite arm.
Kramer sets a screen for Tenney coming around that pick, and she was fouled by Al-Sabahin on the way up. Tenney will go to the line to shoot 2. Career best 20-point game, and even played for 24 minutes against Northwest Tech. She averages just 15 a game on the season. First free throw good. That's the type of breakout game you never know if that's really going to lead to more success from a player. Because a lot of times, once a player gets it, they get it. And once it's turned on, there's no turning it off. Second free throw is good. Milan Shima will check out. Nabiogo back into the contest. 26-9 your score. Dragons up with about a minute gone by in the first quarter. Another turnover from the Broncbusters. Once the Broncbusters cross that half-court line, the Blue Dragons are putting on a pretty impressive double-team trap.
John Hunches has always believed that your defense can be constant. Your offense will have good days and bad days. No excuse for bad defense.
So far, a good day offensively for the Blue Dragons. Up 26-9. With a minute and 10 seconds gone by in the second quarter. Tenney goes into the paint strong, and she was fouled on the way up. So Tenney will head back to the free throw line. This one goes against McHenry, her first. We'll see how long Shy Mitchell in her second season for the Broncbusters stays mad at her starting lineup. First free throw for Tenney, good.
Meanwhile, the Dragons getting pretty close to a 20-point bulge.
Second free throw in as well for Tenney.
Dragons perfect, 6 of 6.
4 of those have come in the last couple of possessions from Tenney. Broncbusters try to face this daunting Blue Dragon defense. Al-Sabahin was able to get a 3 look up. No good. Battle for the rebound. Squirts free and out of bounds. But in the commotion, there was a hold. It goes against the Broncbusters' Deborah Ford, her first. Had a hold of Tia Bradshaw.
Officiating crew has done a good job with this basketball game so far.
Tia Bradshaw, guarded by Lanika Johnson. Goes right wing to Kramer. Kramer lofts one inside to Tenney. Tenney couldn't finish, but offensive board and putback for Tiana Kimbrough. 30-9 your score. 8:10 left before the break. Aaron Dunn and Rusty Hills with you. The Broncbusters will nearly turn it over again, but Tenney couldn't quite corral it right in front of press row. There's the answer to our question. Shy Mitchell will now send back in her starters. And Dejanay Roebuck will come back in for the Blue Dragons.
As they look up at that scoreboard, trailing 30-9, the climb has to look a little bit like Mount Everest.
If you're going to go, you've got to go now. So Roberts, who averages 18, has the ball in her hands. Couldn't connect at all from the free throw line earlier. Has just 1 bucket. Guarded closely by Bradshaw. Has to pick up her dribble at the right elbow. Inside to Johnson. Johnson spin move against Kimbrough. Couldn't quite get it off the glass and in. Rolls off to the Blue Dragons. Bradshaw with a chance to find Roebuck on the inside a little bit late as Daz Johnson knocked it harmlessly out of bounds at the right block. 21-point advantage for the Blue Dragons in this 89th meeting between the two teams. Kramer had her three-pointer blocked, but Dejanay Roebuck was able to track it down and put it in for the wide-open two.
Almost looked like an assist.
Roberts, oh, what a crazy pass. Coming off of those 6 turnovers against Seward and launched one over the head of her teammate Boyce.
Dragons scoring all over the place. Right now Hutchinson led by Mickens with 9. But a whole bunch of Blue Dragons have contributed. 8
Blue Dragons have scored here in the first half against Garden City. Plenty of first half action left. 7:14 to be exact. It's 32-9. Dragons on top. Abby Ogle received that pass as she was receiving some information from the bench as well. Nearly lost it. Kramer lobs one in to Roebuck. Too much for Roebuck to handle. She turned it over on the baseline. With that, Kramer will come out. Nanette will come in. Mickens will come in for Kimbrough. And Schimmel will check in for Tia Bradshaw.
Not a whole lot of difference between the Dragons starting 5 and the backup 5.
2-1-2, three-quarter court trap put on by the Blue Dragons. Ogle tried to tap that one away, couldn't get enough of it. So it'll go out of bounds just across the timeline for the Broncbusters to throw in. Boyce to key it in, but Roberts locked up by Ogle. Just able to go back across the backcourt line and receive the pass. 15 to shoot for the Broncbusters. Baggio working that left side with Boyce. Boyce travels into the lane, kicks one out from 15 to Houston, no good. Rebound to the Dragons, here comes Van Eck. 3-on-2 opportunity, and Dejanay Roebuck walked with it into the defense.
The shooting right now is just ridiculous for Garden City. 3 of 18. That is just 17%. Dragon defense has a lot to do with that.
Broncbusters have more air balls than made baskets so far in this contest. As Houston goes into no man's land, able to kick it out to Roberts. Roberts guarded closely from 3 by Van Eck. That ball didn't have a chance. Ogle all the way to the other side. Reverse layup is good for Abby Ogle. She has 7, and the Broncbusters want a timeout. 6:12 left before halftime. Dragons lead it 34-9. We're back in 1 minute.
To anyone considering a change in family doctors or looking for an attentive primary care physician who's more concerned about you than your insurance, welcome to Prairie Star Health Center. We offer health care held to a higher standard with a choice of dedicated, compassionate physicians. Experience the difference you'll feel when you have a patient-centered medical home. Prairie Star Health Center, 30th and K61 in Hutchinson.
We all like to save money when and where we can, right? You can do that every day at Salt City Pawn and Jewelry. Hi, this is owner Paul Phillips inviting you to stop in and say hi to our friendly staff. And while you're here, check out over 3,000 square feet of great merchandise priced at outstanding values. We don't have to offer huge sale prices for one day only when we do that on a daily basis. Save big over retail prices on firearms, electronics, guitars and amps, name brand tools, video games, jewelry, and more. See us at 916 East 4th and Hutch, just east of 4th and Severance. We're proud to be alumni and supporters of all Blue Dragon athletics.
This game was close when we tipped off. Since then, it's been all Blue Dragons. Of course, the Blue Dragons in the last 10 minutes on a 23-5 run.
If it were an election, they'd call it.
6:12 left in the second quarter of play. Dragons fall back into this 2-1-2 trap, up 34-9. Broncbusters, Boyce. Kicks it left side to Roberts. Roberts absolutely nowhere to go, but finds a wide-open teammate. The only reason Boyce was wide open was because Van Eck fell down. Shot no good. Rebound to the Dragons. Sprinting ahead to Roebuck. She was fouled at the rack.
So Dejanay, who shoots more free throws than any other Blue Dragon, will get a couple. And the whistle goes against Felicity Houston.
Roebuck on that top 10 list for career free throws made. Knocks the first one down.
I like the name Felicity.
Second free throw also good for Roebuck.
Kind of a synonym for faithfulness.
36-9 your score. 5:43 left before the break. Broncbusters, big hill to climb. According to Rusty Hills, it's not just a hill.
It is a mountain.
10 to shoot for Alyssa Boyce. Nowhere to go, was on the wrong page with her teammate Houston, nearly threw it away, but Ogle was the last to touch it before it went out of bounds.
Approaching a beanstalk.
Officials want to talk this over. They want to make sure Ogle did not possess that ball inbounds before it went out. So they'll leave the shot clock at 7 for the Broncbusters. Your friend Felicity inbounds it. The shot up, wow, what an acrobatic finish from the middle of the paint for Talia Roberts. Got it to go through the contact of Schimmel, her first. And a much-needed basket for the Broncbusters.
That was as athletic as any shot we've seen in the basketball game.
That was the type of athleticism and leadership we thought Roberts was going to bring to this game. That's the first time she's shown even just a shade of it. With that free throw, she now has 5. Dragons cracked the timeline. Van Etten had it poked away. Out of bounds by Boyce.
I do think the Garden defense has improved since the game beginning.
Of course, Shy Mitchell took out her starters for quite some time. Just brought them back in a little bit ago. And the starters trying to show some signs of life. 36-12 your score. Dragons on top. 5:12 left before halftime. From the sideline goes Schimmel. Inbound to Van Etten. Has Mickens underneath on that right block. She'll come outside the three-point line now and receive a pass. Over to Van Etten. Van Etten quickly inside to Dejanay Roebuck. Had Pajot sealed on the backside. 2 more for Dejanay.
9 for her now, tying her with Mickens for game honors.
Roberts makes a nifty dribble and then a poor pass. Stolen away by Van Etten. Van Etten tried for Roebuck again, but this time it was from about half court to underneath the basket and throws this one away. Jalea Bellany checks back in for the Broncbusters. The Broncbusters' best player in Talia Roberts comes out. She was not available the last time these two teams met. Averages 18 on the year. Has 5 now. Wasn't sure that was going to be called, Rusty Hills. We had a double dribble right in front of the trail official.
And he had a balk before he called it.
Yeah, he had to wait to see if the crowd noticed, and they certainly did. Turnover by Felicity Houston and the Broncbusters. 4:30 left here in the second quarter of action. Dragons on top 38-12. Darren Dunn and Rusty Hills with you on Country 102.9. KWBW and on the Blue Dragon Sports Network. Shot up by Abby Ogle, no good. Gets the follow, rebound, and puts it in for 2.
And now she has 9.
Abby Ogle knocking on the door of double digits. Felicity Houston nearly double dribbled again. Was able to corral the ball and get a foul from Michaela Van Etten.
She becomes the first Dragon with a couple of fouls.
Van Etten 5 points so far this afternoon. Hit a beautiful 3. In fact, hit 3 3-pointers the last time these two teams met.
There's kicking the ball called on the Dragons. That's one of those plays, the defender's standing there, and the ball hits the leg. It's not automatically kicking.
It's not supposed to be. There has to be intent from the lower leg to officially be a kick. So these guys must have seen something we did not. 15 to shoot for the Broncbusters. Ball goes right wing to Boyce. Boyce gets a little bit of a screen and was able to find a cutting Bellany for 2.
That was pretty. Nicely done.
So some signs of life from the Broncbusters, who now have 14 on the scoreboard to go against the 40 of Hutchinson Community College. 3.5 left before halftime. Van Etten was looking inside for Roebuck, and she threw it away. Pajot jumped into the passing lane. The Broncbusters get across half court. Abby Ogle, a little too tenacious, gets the foul.
And she has 2.
That's the 5th on the Blue Dragons, so Bellany will go to the line in the bonus to shoot 2. Bellany 1 for 2 from here so far today. First free throw, nice rotation, it's good. Dragons will send in Sarah Kramer and Tia Bradshaw. Michaela Vanette and Milan Schimmel will come out. No, John Anches says, I didn't want Schimmel to come out. I wanted Abby Ogle to come out. So Schimmel goes back in, lines up on the free throw blocks, and Abby Ogle will take a seat. Bellany, second free throw, just as good as the first one. 3 for 4 from the line for her. Jalea has 5. 40-16 your score. Dragons on top with just over 3 minutes left to play here in the first half of action. Sarah Kramer, right wing, looking inside. Somehow split the double team, found Mickens. Mickens kicks it back out to Schimmel for 3, no good. Rebounded by Daz Johnson. Here come the Broncbusters. Boyce into the lane. Left block, threw up a wild-looking layup. Drew nothing, but offensive rebound to Desjardins Pajot. Broncbusters don't have a fresh 30 because it never hit the rim. 12 to shoot. Johnson inside, kicks it back out to Pajot. Pajot the spin, tried to make it off the glass, no good. Roebuck the rebound. Kicks ahead to Schimmel. Schimmel paused for a second at the free throw line. Went in, had a nice look at a layup, no good. Rebound by Johnson, but Schimmel stole it back away. Kicked it to Roebuck. Roebuck now has it stolen away on the way to the lane. Desjardins had it stolen by Desjardins. Pajot, that is, of the Broncbusters. Houston kicks it out to Bellany. Bellany, guarded by Kramer, shoots for 3, and she'll knock down the first triple by the Garden City Broncbusters.
And she's having a nice quarter with 8. A little bit of life in the home team.
Only scored 3 points in her last outing against Seward, but did score 13 against the Blue Dragons in the Sports Arena. Ball went into the hands of Sarah Kramer. Kramer got herself trapped on the baseline and double dribbled.
The Dragons have gotten sloppy here in the last 3 minutes. Still have a nice 21-point lead.
2 minutes left before the break. Substitutions being made. For the Blue Dragons on the floor, it's Tia Bradshaw, Kelsey Brett, Sarah Kramer, Tiana Kimbrough, and Desjardins Roebuck. Talia Roberts comes back in for Garden City, joined by Felicity Houston, Alyssa Boyce, Daz Johnson, and Deborah Ford. It is Houston who started to drive but pulled it back out, had a step on Brett. Goes free throw line to Ford. Ford guarded closely by Roebuck, decides to kick it back out and set up the offense. 1-on-5 action for Talia Roberts. Long 3, she got it to go. So a couple of threes now for the Broncbusters. Can Sarah Kramer and the Dragons answer? No. From the right corner, no good. But rebounded and pulled back out by Kelsey Brett. Dragons work it back around right side to Kramer. Sees the cutting Bradshaw for 2. Yes. Bradshaw has 4. 20-point advantage for the Blue Dragons with just over a minute left. Felicity Houston almost walked into that double-team trap from the Blue Dragons, and the Broncbusters go back to the way they started as Boyce nearly threw up an air ball, drew just the backboard. But on the way out, the outlet pass went to Bradshaw, and Bradshaw walked with it.
If the Dragons have had a problem this year, it has been in the turnover category. And Hutchinson, despite the big lead this first half, 10 turnovers. That will not make Coach Anches happy.
Had just 13 turnovers the first time these two teams met. Well on their way to surpassing that in this one. 53 ticks left. Dragons up by 20. Broncbusters with the ball. Johnson with a nice move in the lane, but Roebuck got a hand on it, and it went off the shins of Dash Johnson and out of bounds off the Broncbusters. Full court pressure put on by Garden City. Sarah Kramer working against that defense. She threw it away. Roberts picked it off. Roberts to Bellany. Bellany left side to Ford. And Ford was fouled on the way out for that left-handed layup by Sarah Kramer, who turned it over.
Hutchinson right now in need of a guard to take control of this basketball game. Dragons have turned it over half a dozen times in the last 4 minutes.
Ford will take her time. Started off her motion by resting the ball on her hip. Free throw too strong. Ford has yet to score in this contest. Averages only 2 a game, and actually went 0 for 3 from the floor in her last game against Seward. Garden City in a tough stretch of ball games against the top 3 teams in the Jayhawk West. Second free throw goes down. Ford is on the board with her first point. Dragons lead it 42-23. 40 seconds left.
Dragons have been outscored 11-2 over the last 4 minutes.
Was after a nice 23-5 run. Nice drive to the lane by Bradshaw. Found Tiana Kimbrough wide open on the left block, and Kimbrough knocked it in. And right after she did, the Dragons got warned for a delay of game. 44-23. Shot clock should be dark. It is not. 23 seconds left in this first half of action. Ball goes out to Bellany. Can she hit for 3? No. Left it short, and the ball goes out of bounds on the long rebound at the sideline before Kelsey Brett could track it down. Now the shot clock is dark. 13.6 left. Dragons can hold for 1, but had trouble doing that in the first quarter. Brett receives the long pass from Roebuck. Ahead to Kramer. 8 seconds on the game clock. Kramer left-hand dribble to the left elbow. Inside to Roebuck for 2. Yes! Just before the buzzer, Dejanay Roebuck will add to the lead. Roebuck finishes the first half with 11. Dragons on top here in Garden City. 46-23. We're back after this 2-minute timeout.
HCC Sports is brought to you by the Sportscaster Club members, Portfolio Recovery Associates, Dr. Robert F. of the Hutchinson Clinic, Barkley Plumbing, Burning Chiropractic Center, Tim and Gina Ritter, along with Brian Strange of the Green Vision Group, Sutton Kaufman Transmission Service, Wade Patton Insurance, A&A Builders, Bold Office Shares, Mega Manufacturing, MAYB, Mid-America Youth Basketball, Lowen Corporation, Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, and by Mann, Wyatt, and Rice, LLC. These Sportscaster Club members help provide funds for HCC scholarships.
This is Carter Fowle, president of Hutchinson Community College. I invite you to join us this winter as the proud tradition of Blue Dragon men's and women's basketball continues at the historic Hutchinson Sports Arena. Both teams are favorites in the tough Jayhawk Conference, so you won't want to miss any of the action. Find the schedule at BlueDragonSports.com, like us on Facebook, and follow Blue Dragon Sports on Twitter. As always, go Blue Dragons.
Vehicles are getting pretty smart these days with semi-automatic control features that make driving easier. But riding an RCAT vehicle is easier yet. You don't have to do a thing. Just stand along the route, wave your hand at the driver, and hop on. RCAT is first come, first served general public transportation that travels throughout Hutchinson and South Hutchinson hourly, on weekdays from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. and on Saturday from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Call 694-2913 for further information.
Just as the Hutchinson Blue Dragons athletics are a tradition, so is the Anchor Inn in downtown Hutchinson. Whether you plan lunch or dinner or even take out for home, the Anchor Inn is a great family restaurant that you are sure to enjoy. Order off their great menu or take advantage of the Anchor Inn's awesome buffet. You'll make a great choice either way. The Anchor Inn is also a great spot to meet up with old friends and acquaintances because everyone goes to the Anchor. That's the Anchor Inn at 128 South Main in Hutchinson, proud supporters of Hutchinson Blue Dragon athletics.
All Blue Dragons here in Garden City up 46-23 at the break. The first quarter much better for the Blue Dragons. Only 3 turnovers in that quarter, had 8 in the second quarter, and in the last 6 minutes of that first half, Garden City kept it a little bit closer and actually outscored the Blue Dragons by 2 at 14-12. At the break, it's 46-23 Blue Dragons. Rusty Hills has your numbers.
Yeah, time for the first half Medicine Shop game capsule. The Medicine Shop, conveniently located in Hutchinson. You'll find it at 14th and Main, the little white castle on the northwest corner. And we've been talking for years and years and years about all the many reasons for you to stop by the Medicine Shop. They are too numerous to mention. Suffice it to say that if you are looking for a new pharmacy, Hutchinson is a city with a lot of good ones, but I don't know of any better than the Medicine Shop. And the Medicine Shop will make the transfer process painless. just give them a call, 620-663-7681. Again, that's 620-663-7681. And they will take care of getting all your meds transferred from your current pharmacy to the medicine shop. It is a decision that you will not regret. Blue Dragons doubling up the Broncbusters here in western Kansas at halftime, 46-23. It was a 24-8 game after one period. Blue Dragons didn't dominate the second quarter quite to the extent they did the first, but a huge lead for the nation's number 10 junior college women's basketball team. Hutchinson paced in the game's first 20 minutes by Dejanay Roebuck with 11, but good balance right behind Abby Ogle with 9, Jada Mickens with 9, all of Jada's points coming in that first quarter. Then it is 5 points for Michaela Van Etten, scoring 4, Tia Bradshaw and Ty Kimbrough, and additionally also 4 for Keely Tinney on 4 free throws. Blue Dragons playing in the first half, not contributing to the point total, Sarah Kramer, Milan Schimmel, and Kelsey Brett. For the Broncbusters of Garden City, a couple of players with 8. Jalea Bellany had 8, and Talia Roberts had 8. But after that, just not nearly enough support to keep the Broncbusters close. Alyssa Boyce had 4, 2 points for Dasmonique Johnson, and 1 for Deborah Ford. So the Blue Dragons with a halftime advantage of 46-23. The statistics tell us why. Hutchinson shot the ball well in the first half, 18 of 32. That is 56% shooting compared to the Broncbusters' rather cold 26% on 7 of 27. Neither team very good from behind the arc. Hutchinson 2 of 10, Garden 2 of 9. The Dragons did make all 8 free throws that they were given in the first half. Garden cashed on 7 of 11. Hutchinson is the league's best rebounding team. They showed it again in the first half with a 25-11 dominance on the glass. Turnovers, and I think both coaches would probably agree that 11 is too many, but that is the number that each had. But the Blue Dragons well on their way toward picking up win number 24 in 25 games this basketball season as they lead it big by 23. The Blue Dragons are in the midst of 4 games in 8 days if you go back to Wednesday and count the win over Northwest Kansas Technical College in the arena. Dragons dominated that one. They're dominating this one, and they have more basketball coming up. They have a game on Monday against Pratt, and then we'll be back in the arena on Wednesday. It's the second time this season the Dragons have played 4 games in 8 days, and on both those occasions it's been pretty kind to the Dragons, at least so far. First trip through, the Blue Dragons won all 4, and they're off to a 1-0 start and a 23-point lead at halftime of the second. So things pretty well in the Hutchinson camp. We're going to take a 2-minute break. We'll return with more from western Kansas, and I'll tell you why I am so happy my family moved out of Meade when we come back.
If getting a new iPhone is on your wish list, then wish no further. At Next Tech Wireless, all smartphones, including the new iPhones, are 50% off. You can save over $350 on your new iPhone and even trade in your old phone for more credit. Have multiple lines? That's even better, because your 3rd, 4th, or even 5th line will get you unlimited data free for a year. Next Tech Wireless has more than 50 store locations to serve you. Switch today and start saving. Certain restrictions apply. Phone guard required.
Hi, Brian Bobo, General Manager at Midwest Ford. We have some huge savings on the remainder of our 2018 F-150s with up to a $2,500 rebate and, yes, I said and, 0% for 60 months. Or how about $10,000 off MSRP on a 2018 Edge? Or what about even $12,000 off on 2018 Expedition? Wow, hurry, they won't last. So come see us today at 1100 East 30th or online at MidwestSuperstore.com.
At Strategic Financial Concepts, we have a process that we take you through to give you the knowledge and control of your finances that you may have never been exposed to. The process educates and helps simplify financial decisions and helps you protect your wealth. We equip people to make effective financial decisions. Let's have a cup of coffee and a conversation. Call me, Jay Pitzer, at 960-0749. Securities offered through the ON Equity Sales Company, member FINRA, SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through ON Investment Management Company.
Basketballs are bouncing and crowds are cheering. Your best offense during cold and flu season is a good defense. Drink plenty of liquids, get plenty of rest, and keep your hands sanitized. If a bug still manages to get you, Ashcraft Pharmacy, your local Health Mart pharmacy, has over-the-counter medications that can help. Or if you need a prescription, we offer free mail-out, free delivery, or call ahead for our handy curbside service. Go Dragons! From Ashcraft Pharmacy in the Hart Shopping Center, South Hutchinson, and Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Welcome back to Garden City. We're at the half. The Blue Dragons lead at 46-23. That was quite a tease. Going into that break, Rusty Hilst, I think I know where this is going, but I can't wait to hear this story. Much like Ross Perot, I'm all ears.
For Bugs Bunny?
Yes.
Well, a lot of you may not know that I grew up in Meade, Kansas, which is about 60 miles to the south and a little bit east of our current location. And I thought the whole world was like western Kansas, where every day the wind blew about 20 or 30 miles an hour. It was hot in the summer and bitter cold in the winter, and you dodged tumbleweeds. Driving out here this morning, we left Hutchinson, and the farther west we got, the more the wind generator got turned on. We saw some wind turbines going by. Strangely, they were headed the other direction. If there was ever a place that needed wind turbines, it's western Kansas. It is blowing about 45 or 50 miles an hour, and tumbleweeds are crossing the highway like tanks on a blitzkrieg. We're dodging tumbleweeds and everything else, and it's blowing so hard. I am not sorry we left Meade for Hutchinson.
I made the comment to you on the way up. I don't think I have ever seen that many tumbleweeds in my life. I mean, it was one after another, and once we got by one, we were looking in the rear view, and we could see more passing across the highway behind us. I had a chance to talk to some Blue Dragon fans who made the trip out here to Garden City today as well, Doc Neufeld, and he said, yeah, we saw a lot of those tumbleweeds. We didn't hit any. I go, well, we hit a couple for you because there was nothing we could do. There was no way around it. They were just timed out perfectly, coming out of those farm fields, and bam, right into the grill of your car.
And the fence to the north of us was just plastered with tumbleweeds. They get snagged on the fence, and they were standing there to the point you couldn't even see the fence. Let's take a quick look at some college basketball games across the country on this Saturday afternoon. First of all, in the Big 12, University of Kansas got a win over Oklahoma State, 84-72. A little bit of a surprise brewing in another game. Iowa State appears to be about ready to lose at home to TCU. TCU led that game 78-66 with about 3 minutes to go. Other top 25 games around the country, LSU number 21 over Auburn, 77-71. And Michigan State got back on the winning track. They lead Minnesota 77-54 inside a minute. And it is Marquette over Villanova 47-35. Central Michigan over Buffalo 25-12. Buffalo, of course, the place where James Rojas, one of the Blue Dragon stars, is headed to play basketball next year. A little bit later today, number 1 Tennessee is at home against Florida. Oklahoma entertains Texas Tech. Florida State hosts Louisville. And in a game I would love to be able to watch, we will not see it. Duke and Virginia, the first time they played, it was a classic. It was two heavyweights. Neither one could stop the other. Duke won a tight one. Now they're 2-3 in the country. They play this afternoon at 5. New Mexico is at Nevada. Nebraska at Purdue. And Kansas State will try to protect its status, but it's an underdog on the road at Baylor. 23 points is all the Broncbusters could muster against the Blue Dragons. Blue Dragons with 46. Want to take this opportunity to say happy birthday to a good friend of mine and a good friend of Blue Dragon basketball. I'm talking about George Kinney. I understand George had a birthday celebration at his house today. Getting a bunch of people together to watch Kansas Jayhawk basketball. Happy birthday, George. You've been a great credit to the Hutchinson community for a long, long while. Let's take a 2-minute break. It'll be time for basketball. Hutchinson dominating Garden City, 46-23.
Your life is busy. Are you ready to open an account, apply for a loan, check your balances, make a transfer, deposit a check, pay bills? With electronic banking from The First, you can now take care of all your many banking needs from the comfort of your home or office. Anytime, anywhere, 24/7. Visit fnbhutch.bank to get started. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
HCC Sports is brought to you by the Sportscaster Club members, Portfolio Recovery Associates, Dr. Robert Epp of the Hutchinson Clinic, Barkley Plumbing, Vernon Chiropractic Center, Tim and Gina Ritter, along with Brian Strange of the Green Vision Group, Sutton Kaufman Transmission Service, Wade Patton Insurance, A&A Builders, Bold Office Shares, Mega Manufacturing, MAYB, Mid-America Youth Basketball, Lowen Corporation, Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, and by Mann, Wyatt, and Rice, LLC. These Sportscaster Club members help provide funds for HCC scholarships.
For over 15 years, Erickson Custom Building has designed, built, and remodeled homes and commercial projects in central Kansas. Whether you're looking to replace a deck, wanting to build an addition, or remodel your kitchen, our customers receive individualized attention, quality craftsmanship, and exceptional customer service from start to finish. Erickson Custom Building offers new construction and remodeling services in addition to commercial and insurance projects. Visit our website today at ericksoncustombldg.com.
Welcome to the Hutchinson Medicine Shop. With the emergence of big business, not only in pharmacy, but all industries, the Medicine Shop is proud to be a thriving local business in Hutchinson. We're so thankful to our customers in Hutchinson, Reno County, and Central Kansas for your support. In turn, we're proud to be a major sponsor of the Hutch High Salthawks, as well as other area high schools, the Blue Dragons, Chiefs, Royals, Jayhawks, and Wildcats. You support us, and the Hutchinson Medicine Shop supports local sports.
Dragons up 46-23 in Garden City here on Country 102.9, Hutchinson's Country Station, KHUT, and KWBW, where Hutchinson comes to talk, 1450 AM and 98.5 FM. Thank you for watching as well on the stream on the Blue Dragon Sports Network. Dragons open up the second half of play. Dejanay Roebuck has already had a career game. We'll tell you how here in just a minute. She's the one who inbounds at half court to get us going. Ball goes right wing to Michaela Van Nett, and Van Nett has her second three of the contest. Dragons open up with the three-pointer. It's now a 26-point lead. Roberts trapped right at half court. Trapped by the half-court line itself, and also Bradshaw and Van Nett, but Bradshaw fouls the Broncbusters to just bail out Talia Roberts. In that first half of action, Dejanay Roebuck joined the 500 club. Now has 500 career rebounds, 502 to be exact. As the Broncbusters go inside to Felicity Houston. Houston scores her first basket of the game. It's full court pressure now, put on by the Broncbusters. Roebuck with the ball, ahead to Mickens. Mickens one dribble to the paint, banks it off the glass for two. Mickens has 11. 51-25. A minute gone by in the third. With her scoring as well in that first half, Dejanay actually moved past Taylor Staley into 16th place on the career scoring list for Blue Dragons. Shot by Pajot, no good. Put back by Johnson, no good as well. And here comes the aforementioned Roebuck. Roebuck across the block to Mickens, and Mickens strong for two.
13 for Jada.
Broncbusters get the ball across half court. Extended left elbow. Roberts' shot no good, but an offensive rebound to the 5'6" Lanika Johnson. She was fouled on the putback by the Blue Dragons. It goes against Dejanay Roebuck. Another rebound for Desjardins, and she will move into 8th on the career rebounding list. Special thank you, of course, as always, for the tangibles from Sports Information Director for Hutchinson Community College, Steve Carpenter. Johnson, first free throw is good, her first point of the game.
Hope to have Carp on at halftime of the second game. He's always good to be entertaining for 7 or 8 minutes.
Second free throw for Johnson, good. He's far away from me, but even I can hear that laugh. He got a giggle out of that one. 53-27 the score. Blue Dragons lead it here in the third quarter. 8:20 left.
Rarely is diminishing in stature a compliment, but we'll talk about that with Steve.
Roebuck and Mickens working the blocks. Bradshaw goes into the paint. Forced one up, couldn't get it to go, but was fouled by Johnson, her first. Bradshaw, her first trip to the free throw line.
Those of you that own Coca-Cola stock will probably be somewhat disappointed.
I've heard he's given it up.
That's what I'm talking about.
I see water down there today for Steve Carpenter. First free throw is good for Bradshaw. She has 5. I always relished when we'd show up places, and he's been in this league a long time, so other SIDs and ADs would bring him Coca-Cola by the case.
It's almost payola.
Second free throw is good. 6 for Bradshaw. The Dragons are 10 for 10 from the free throw line this afternoon and go into a 1-2-2 full court press. Broncbusters nearly threw it away. Felicity Houston came crashing back across the half-court line, and the reason she was crashing, according to the official, was because Desjardins Roebuck put a couple of hands in her back.
A graphic description.
Ball goes into Bellany. Bellany walks, got inside against Roebuck, and put in a couple too many steps. 2 minutes gone by in the third quarter. 55-27, Dragons on top. Darren Dunn and Rusty Hilst with you. Dragons in the road reds, working from left to right on your radio dial and as you watch on the Blue Dragon Sports Network. Ogle into the game. Works the ball out front to Mickens. Mickens hands off to Van Het. 13 to shoot. Left wing Ogle, guarded by Johnson. Gets by her. Kicks it outside right wing, though, to Bradshaw for 3. No good. Offensive rebound to Roebuck. And it won't officially count because Mickens was draped on the backside of the other Broncbuster. So Roebuck had the rebound underneath, but pinned in between her and Mickens was a Broncbuster. And Mickens pushed that Broncbuster in the back just enough for her second foul. Or not. That one will actually go against Pajot.
The other way.
So Pajot was in there enough on Roebuck, and the Dragons will get a fresh 30. Ball goes inside to Roebuck, and she puts it in for 2. So Mickens still with 1 foul. Last foul win against Pajot. Left-handed drive and shot by Lanika Johnson. No good. Rebounded by Van Het. Someone needs to yell woof. They do. Van Het crosses over on the dribble, gets it underneath to Bradshaw. And from underneath the basket, Bradshaw throws it away all the way back at half court, picked up by Houston. And Abby Ogle takes a piggyback ride on Felicity Houston. She'll go to the line.
That is one of those really unfortunate turnovers. Bad pass tossed into the back court, almost led to a layup, but leads to something almost as bad, Abby Ogle's 3rd foul.
It was almost as if Bradshaw, in an attempt to try to find something, led the Broncbusters into the perfect break. First trip to the line for Houston. First free throw rattles out. Milan Schimmel, Diana Kimbrough check in for the Blue Dragons. Bradshaw and Mickens will take a breather. 3 minutes gone by in the third. Dragons on top by 30. Houston exhales. Spins, bounces, shot up, and good. 3 points for Felicity Houston. 1 of 2 on that trip. Dragons easily break the Broncbuster pressure. And Abby Ogle will set up the offense. Broncbusters drop back into the man-to-man defense. Tiana Kimbrough working the free throw line. Setting a backside screen for Ogle. Brad Roebuck had her, didn't go inside to Ogle. Instead, Roebuck goes to Van Etten. Van Etten for three, no good. And a near offensive rebound underneath for Roebuck, but she stepped on the baseline. Substitutions for the Broncbusters. Zanae Boyd, 5'10" freshman from Indiana, checks in. Deborah Ford, 5'9" freshman from Louisiana, in as well. Broncbusters try to throw another one away, but Houston snags it. Goes right wing, drives in, picks it up in front of Milan Schimmel in for the Blue Dragons. Forces one up over the 5'9" Schimmel and somehow got it to go.
Sometimes prayers are answered.
57-30. Blue Dragons ahead at the 6:17 mark here in the third. Ogle working to get open, takes the ball at the right wing, guarded closely by Johnson. Bounce pass inside to Roebuck, had to scramble to control it. Back up top from 15, Tiana Kimbrough knocks down the two. Tiana Kimbrough with 6, and the Broncbusters on the inbound. Felicity Houston stepped across for the throw-in violation. Covering official having some words with the Blue Dragon bench. Same official, we should note, who called that double dribble late. So the Blue Dragon bench, they've been helping him out here.
Big smile on his face.
So there is now. There wasn't a few seconds ago. Sometimes a witty comeback, if you're in hot water with somebody, goes a long way. As Roebuck is called for the foul on this possession.
Again, the Blue Dragons will be on the road on Monday at Pratt. And we'll be back in the sports arena against Dodge City on Wednesday.
A foul on Roebuck they put up as her 4th, 5th team foul. So Boyd is at the line in the bonus. Roebuck will come out. Keely Tenney comes in, coming off of that career-high 20-point game against the Mavericks of Northwest Tech. Played 24 minutes in that contest as well, a career high. Second free throw for Boyd is also good. 2 for Boyd, 32 for the Busters overall. Dragons still on top with 59, and the Dragons will throw it away. Schimmel was looking too far ahead for Ogle and threw it past her, out of bounds. Dragons staying in full court pressure. Van Etten guarding Boyd. Boyd gives it up to the guard, Bellany. Bellany will bring it across the timeline. Goes inside against Van Etten, loops one up, left it short. Scramble for the board, and it's picked up by Boyce in there for the Broncbusters. Outside to Johnson. Johnson nearly has it stripped by Ogle. Scramble to the ground, and in that scramble, we had a shove. The foul is going against number 2, and that number 2 is the 2 of the Blue Dragons, Abby Ogle, her 4th.
I might have viewed that a little differently.
Seemed like there was definitely pushing from both sides, if any. As Lanika Johnson, the other number 2, for the Broncbusters, goes to the line where she's now 3 of 3. Kelsey Brett checks in for the Blue Dragons. Abby Ogle comes back out. And Johnson's second free throw is no good. Her first miss from the line today. Offensive rebound to Boyd. Pajot back over to Johnson, and Tiana Kimbrough for the second time in this game blocks one away.
She is getting healthier and healthier after that midseason injury.
Missed 3 games in January. She's 3rd in the conference when it comes to blocks, and right there showed you why. Inbound to Bellany. Bellany fired up a 3, no good, but another offensive rebound for the Broncbusters. Ball goes back to Johnson. Johnson inside with the left hand, no good. Offensive rebound once again. It's Boyd, and Boyd couldn't get the putback. Finally, here come the Blue Dragons. Schimmel kicks it to the corner to Brett. Brett out top to Tenney. Tenney inside momentarily to Kimbrough. Outside to Van Etten for 3, no good. Offensive rebound by the Blue Dragons, and Keely Tenney is called for the travel. 4:57 left in third quarter action. Dragons on top 59-33. 89th meeting between these two teams. Broncbusters have only won 19 times in those meetings, but 13 of them have come here in Garden City. Bellany, stop and go. Puts one up, no good. Rolled off the backside, and here comes Schimmel. One-on-one break now, has two-on-one opportunity with Kelsey Brett trailing, and she found her. Brett for two. Timeout taken by the Blue Dragons. Dragons on top, 61-33. 4.5 left in the third. We're back in 30 seconds.
Parking lots and driveways can be expensive to install. This is Derek Fees. Let APAC Kansas Shears Division help you properly maintain these investments. Patching, crack filling, sealing, and striping are just some of the services we provide. Call APAC today at 620-662-2112. Are you tired of your dusty or muddy driveway? APAC Kansas Shears Division is here to help. This is Derek Fees. Call us and ask us about our asphalt millings. If you are a do-it-yourselfer, arrange for pickup or delivery at your convenience. Call APAC today at 620-662-2112.
Huge lead for the Blue Dragons. 4:30 left in the third quarter. 61-33. Hutchinson led by 16 at the quarter, by 23 at the half, by 28 right now. You get the picture. Hutchinson having a mighty nice Western Kansas afternoon.
Roebuck and Mickens each with 13 for the Blue Dragons. Michaela Van Nett has knocked down a couple of three-pointers, one in the first half, one here in this second half of action. Broncbusters trying to find some answers as Johnson goes to the paint, no good. Kimbrough on the outlet pass, couldn't find Schimmel, and the Dragons throw it away.
Probably the only negative on the afternoon, 14 turnovers, and John Hunch is saying, what are you doing?
Maybe the only difference, if there would be one for the Broncbusters in this one, would be Roberts, who did not play the first time these two teams met. She's been held relatively in check with only 8 points.
None in the second half.
Here this afternoon, she's currently sitting on the bench with her coach, Shy Mitchell. Deborah Ford finds her way to the lane and knocks it down.
.24% shooting for the afternoon for Garden.
Milan Schimmel with the point guard honors, guarded by Lanika Johnson. Left wing, Van Nett holds it high, goes up top to Tinney. Tinney drives in, kicks it out to Brett in front of the Blue Dragon bench for three, no good. Rebound by Tanae Boyd. Garden City quickly the other way. Johnson thought about a three from the right corner. Instead, drives in the other side of the lane, scoops one up underneath with Tinney in her face, and Johnson has 5.
Pretty athletic basket there. A lot of English on the underhand scoop.
Blue Dragons lead at 61-37. 3 minutes left in the third. Schimmel thought about driving against Houston. Thought better of it. Sets up some offense. Tinney working the post. Won't receive the pass, but will set a screen for Kimbrough. Kimbrough flashes, and the Dragons will work the ball around the horn. Kelsey Brett, backdoor cut. Tinney didn't find her. Tinney open on the backdoor cut. Kimbrough opted to drive it herself. Missed the shot, and on the rebound, Kimbrough called for the push. That'll send the Broncbusters to the line.
Dragons came out pretty motivated at the start of this quarter and clicking on all cylinders. That slowed down a little bit.
Deborah Ford will head back to the line. Broncbusters have already shot some bonus free throws in this quarter, and with every foul by the Blue Dragons, we'll have more bonus opportunities. First free throw is good.
Deborah with a distinctive Disneyland haircut.
I can see it. Deja Roebuck, Tia Bradshaw, Sarah Kramer all check in for the Blue Dragons. They join Tiana Kimbrough and Milan Schimmel. Dragons in the road reds. Garden City in the home whites. Not as many people in the crowd now as when we started. Reason being, as the second free throw is no good, offensive rebound to the Broncbusters. Bellany had her three-pointer blocked, but Boyd came up with it. Bellany shoots another one for three, no good, and Boyd comes up with the rebound again. Boyd lets the pressure pass gets inside the paint. The only person remaining with the help defense was Kimbrough. And Tiana Kimbrough, well, in fact, it'll go against Milan Schimmel. We'll pick up her second foul. I was going to tell you there's not as many people in the crowd. We talked about the bitty dancers that were here. Well, when they were done dancing at halftime, their parents packed them up, and the parents and the kids all left.
Yeah, it might be a pretty good time to be playing Garden City. Normally this game is played at night. Free throw missed, the first of two.
Boyd, now 2 for 3 from the line, has made a living on the offensive board, but that has not actually turned into many Broncbuster points. It will here. It'll turn into 1. Boyd has 3. Sarah Kramer runs the point. Dragons lead at 61-39. 2:19 left here in third quarter action. Schimmel looks inside to Kimbrough. Kimbrough turns on Ford and goes right to the basket for 2. Kimbrough had 8 the last time these two teams met, has 8 here today. Palming violation against Alyssa Boyce, and the Broncbusters turn it over. Still some full court pressure put on by the Broncbusters. Bradshaw fights to get the inbound. Crosses half court. Kramer and Schimmel exchange spots on the wings. Schimmel looks inside to Kimbrough. Kimbrough goes opposite block to Roebuck. Roebuck for 2. Got it to go, but this foul will be before the shot against Boyce, her second, and the Dragons will inbound on the baseline.
If there was ever a foul you wish you could have declined, that would have been it.
Yeah. When it comes to advantage, disadvantage, would have hoped for a no whistle there. But the inbound works just as well. Kimbrough gets the inbound. Kimbrough puts it in for 2 with the left hand. Tiana has 10. Too quick the other way is Alyssa Boyce. Dragons were trailing behind, and it was all Sarah Kramer could do was foul to prevent the easy basket. Boyce becomes the 8th Broncbuster to make a trip to the free throw line. Hits the first one as Dejanay Pajot from Grand Prairie, Texas, checks back in for Garden City. Second free throw short. Sarah Kramer the rebound. Kramer ahead to Schimmel. Schimmel has Roebuck ahead, gets it to her. Roebuck for 2.
Roebuck is as quick at catching and converting as anybody you'll find. 15.
The catch, the turn, the bucket were all seamless in one fluid motion. She did it better than I could say it. In fact, 67-40. Dragons with the lead. Long three-pointer by Bellany is no good. Scramble for the rebound out of bounds. Last touch by the Blue Dragons. 1:10 left in the third. Far right side baseline inbound by Boyce. Bellany guarded by Kramer. Kramer puts her left hand on her. Bellany backs it out, goes inside. Knocked away by Tiana Kimbrough. Schimmel comes up with it, ahead to Dejanay Roebuck, and Roebuck scores again. Dejanay has 17. 45 seconds left in the third quarter. Dragons ahead by 29. Boyce on the inside against Bradshaw and Kimbrough. Can't get it to go. Kimbrough the rebound. Outlet pass to Sarah Kramer. 5-second differential between game clock and shot clock. Ball goes inside to Roebuck again. It was a high entry pass by Schimmel, and Roebuck was fouled on the way up by Boyd.
It has made little difference which 5 Blue Dragons are on the floor in this game. They just simply have demonstrated superiority over the opposing 5.
Roebuck continues to trend for the Blue Dragons. Another make at the free throw line, 11 for 11. Kelsey Brett checks in for Milan Schimmel. One more coming for Dejanay. Dragons up by 30. Make it 31. Dejanay with 19. Tiana Kimbrough will come out. Dejanay Roebuck will come out. Mickens and Tenney check in with 27.7 ticks left in the third. 71-40 the score. Shot clock is dark. Garden City needs a bucket. Houston on the inside against Kramer. Off the backboard, too strong. Off the front iron. 10 seconds for the Blue Dragons. Kelsey Brett, left-hand dribble on the left side. A lot of contact. Couldn't get the shot to go. Boyd, strangely, couldn't corral it and lost the ball out of bounds.
9 seconds. Dragons inbound. Baseline right.
Tia Bradshaw. Looks inside. Finds Mickens. Mickens, the bobble, got it up and was fouled on the way up by Dejanay Pajot. 3 now for Pajot of the Broncbusters. Mickens had an and one in the first half. Made the free throw to go with it. First free throw for Mickens is good. 14 down for Jada. Dragons a chance to go up by 33. They do. Mickens rattles it in, and the Dragons are perfect from the free throw line as a team. 15 for Mickens, 4 seconds to shoot for Houston. Houston, the runner of a three, no good. Offensive rebound to Boyd as time expires. 3 quarters of action are done here in Garden City. Dragons lead at 73-40. We're back in 1 minute.
Tax reform impacts virtually every tax return this year. That means yours, too. If you're wondering what that means for you and your refund, but don't want to spend hours reading the tax code, head over to H&R Block. No one knows tax reform better than Block. Their tax pros will help you find every credit and deduction available, so you get every dollar you deserve. Because wouldn't you rather spend more time thinking about what to do with your maximum refund and less time figuring out what a TCJA qualifying eligible dependent is? Hint, it's your kid. In person or online, Block has your back.
Visit H&R Block in Hutchinson, Lyons, and Ellsworth.
The Rothy family name has always been connected to serving the Hutchinson community, and you can expect the same kind of high-quality service when you visit Rothy Family Flooring. They believe you deserve to be treated like family, so they've invested in their own talented and trustworthy installers to lay your floors. No outside contractors will ever knock on your door if Rothy works for you. Let them show you their expansive selection of name brand flooring and trust your home to the best. Rothy Family Flooring, 325 North Main, Hutchinson.
Drifting along with a tumbling tumbleweed.
Garden City, the Broncbusters turned the ball over 30 times the first time these two teams met. Shai Mitchell had to be saying, let's not turn the ball over. They've actually turned the ball over fewer times than the Dragons, just 14-15. Yet no answers when it comes to shooting the ball.
57% to 23%.
Houston goes inside to start the fourth quarter, and in the crease was Kelsey Brett. The official tried to punch the shot through. He thought it went through the basket. It actually came out. And now the officials will get together. This is where the center and trail officials have to work together to watch where that basketball ended up. They're counting it. They're counting it. It did not go in.
John Launches wants and should be entitled to it. Could it be that none of the three saw it? Yeah.
See, the problem is the baseline official, that's not
they wave it off.
What you're looking for. And after counting it, they do send it off. The thing is, with your peripheral vision down there under the basket, the way that ball came out, if you're relying solely on your peripheral vision, it could appear that it went through the hoop. And that's where your center and trail have to come together and either confirm or deny what it was you thought you saw, because they actually have the rim in that case.
That's a really nice rationalization for these officials. I'm impressed.
I try to help when I can. First free throw was no good. Houston hits the second one. And the Dragons are up 73-41 with just 15 seconds gone by here in the final frame. Bradshaw, Van Etten, Mickens, Tenney, and Brett in for the Blue Dragons in red. Taking on this man-to-man defense by the Broncbusters. It's Brett, 35 feet away from the basket. Tried to get it to Tia Bradshaw, but threw it into the Blue Dragon bench instead.
It's one of those inexplicable turnovers.
Dragons had 17 turnovers first time these two teams met, 16 already, with 9.5 to go in the fourth.
There are some turnovers you look at and say, okay, that was just a hustle turnover. There are some turnovers you look at and say, why in the world did we try to do that?
73-41 the score. 9:20 left. Dragons ahead of the Broncbusters here in Garden City. As Ford spins to the inside. Pretty move for Ford as she knocks it down. Lead for the Dragons is 30. A minute gone by in the fourth quarter. Van Nett runs the point for the Blue Dragons, working from left to right as you listen. Left to right as you watch on the Blue Dragon Sports Network. Mickens hands off right wing to Kelsey Brett. 10 to shoot. Right wing to Bradshaw. Bradshaw against Houston. Looks inside to Mickens, and the Dragons just turned it over for a 17th time. A little hop and a skip and a little too much handshake on that ball. Alyssa Boyce palmed it. Back-to-back turnovers for these teams. Abby Ogle checks in for Tia Bradshaw. Kelsey Brett will also come out. Milan Schimmel into the game for the Blue Dragons. Dejanay Pajot will come in for Garden City. And it has been a while since we've seen Talia Roberts. I'm wondering if Shy Mitchell has made the decision to shut it down. Missed the first time these two teams met with that ankle injury. You wonder if it might still be bothering her.
Well, if it is, there's no point in a 30-point game to take a chance on making it worse.
Full court pressure still put on by the Broncbusters. It's a man-to-man, so everyone backs out. And lets Milan Schimmel cross the timeline against Lanika Johnson. Right wing to Van Nett, had it knocked away, and Van Nett was the last one to touch it. Turnover, Blue Dragons.
The Dragons can survive 20 turnovers tonight, but I assure you that if that game against Seward, the last game of the regular season in Liberal, is for the conference championship, they can't afford to have this many turnovers in that one.
Started to get those turnovers in check around Christmas time. A rare night tonight where they're giving up quite a few. Lanika Johnson shot no good. Dragons come away with it. Ogle to the middle of the paint. Stops and pops. Abby Ogle has 11. 75-43. Dragons lead it. Just under 8 to go.
Travel.
Jalea Bellany will turn it over on the baseline for the Broncbusters. Tenney to inbound. Into the hands of Michaela Van Nett. Once again, it's that man-to-man full court pressure, so everyone just backs out. Van Nett walks the ball up the court. Right wing to Abby Ogle. Mickens in the paint. Working against Boyd. Got a little bit of space momentarily. Got that space back again. Got the entry pass from Schimmel. Mickens turns around for two.
The combination of Roebuck and Mickens, nobody uses the glass any better in the league than that pair.
Roebuck has 19. Mickens has 17 in this game for the Blue Dragons. Johnson's shot no good for the Broncbusters, pulled down by Hutchinson. Hutchinson Community College with a 77-43 lead. 7 minutes left. Add to that lead, almost. Mickens took a shot to the face. Couldn't quite finish, but she'll go to the line for two.
Dragons with an outside crack at making it to the century mark would be fifth time, Steve. If the Dragons got to 100, fifth time or sixth time. Would be the sixth time this year.
It would be in back-to-back games. Put up 100 against Northwest Tech. First free throw for Mickens is good. What a day it has been at the line for the Blue Dragons. Now 15 of 15 from the charity stripe. Mickens true on the second one as well. Mickens with 19. Roebuck with 19. On the floor for the Dragons, it's Ogle, Mickens. In the middle of that defense, Tenney. And on the wings, Schimmel and Van Nett. Outside three from the left wing. Bellany got it to go. And Shy Mitchell wants a timeout. Second three-pointer for Bellany. She has 11. Dragons lead it 79-46. We're back in 30 seconds.
We understand. You can't plan ahead for an illness or injury. Yet you'd really like same-day treatment. That's why Prairie Star offers walk-in clinic services with a responsive medical staff to care for you and your family.
P.S. We want to be your medical home.
Welcome to Prairie Star Health Center and Walk-In Clinic, whether you have insurance or not. 30th and K61 in Hutchinson.
And during the timeout, the band plays a drum solo. You sometimes wonder if that isn't done deliberately to make communication during the timeout difficult.
It can get pretty tough. I've heard a lot of players talk about that, especially in those arenas you get where it's really loud. People, I mean, even you and I side by side with the drums underneath us, it's been hard to hear. So you can imagine what it's like in the huddle. Dragons break the press with a Hail Mary pass to Abby Ogle. Ogle drives through the last two defenders and scores it for two.
Like they weren't even there.
81-46, the lead for the Blue Dragons. 6.5 left in this contest. Whistle was blown. Play continued until the official decided I need to blow it again, so everyone stops. He's calling it an inadvertent whistle. Not a foul, not a violation, an inadvertent whistle. Now we'll get a foul away from the ball on the inbound. It goes against Michaela Van Eck, hanging on to a Broncbuster. So we'll inbound from the far sideline again. Darren Dunn and Rusty Hills with you on Country 102.9 and KWBW. Thank you for joining us online as well on the Blue Dragon Sports Network. Melissa Boyce doing her best to palm the ball again. Continues the offense. Off to Felicity Houston. Houston working against Schimmel. Goes left block, brings it back out. Outside the three-point arc, setting up at the volleyball attack line. And we'll bring it in against Schimmel again. Tried to pass it across the line over to Ford, had it knocked away. And Abby Ogle, the Blue Dragons come away with it. Ogle sprinting ahead. Loops it underneath to Tinney. Tinney had it partially blocked, got a rebound, put back no good. Fight for the rebound, knocked out of bounds by Ford and the Broncbusters. Just under 6 minutes left in this contest. Dragons in control, 81-46. Kelsey Brett and Sarah Kramer will come in for Hutchinson. Milan Schimmel will go baseline left to inbound. Mickens goes in to set a screen. Kramer set a screen inside for Tinney. Ball comes out up top, though, to Brett. Milan Schimmel sets up the offense. As Kramer to her right, Tinney to her left, goes left to Tinney. Ball works its way around the horn, but comes back. Kramer inside to Tinney, who had perfect position on Pajot, and Tinney lays it in. Her first points coming from the field. Had 4 points from the free throw line in the first half. 83-46. Dragons looking to add to this lead. Sarah Kramer steals it away. Off to the races. Pressure at the basket and couldn't get it to go. Received that pressure from Alyssa Boyce, who just got back in time. Bellany goes inside, took some contact, walked with it, and then turned it over. Kramer ahead to Mickens. Mickens for two, and Mickens has 21 points this afternoon.
Halfway through the fourth quarter.
Dragons 15 points away from the century mark. Houston goes right side. Stopped at the block by Schimmel. Gave it up for a moment to Pajot. Now she has it back. Houston tries the left side this time. Stopped at the block by Tinney. Nowhere to go. Kicks it back out with 4 to shoot to Bellany. Someone must shoot it. The Broncbusters don't know it. This is a shot clock violation.
And it is the 19th turnover.
Similar on the same side of the floor and kind of in the same spot that Ogle ended up in when the Dragons turned it over with a shot clock violation in the first. Mass substitutions made for the Broncbusters, and surprisingly, Talia Roberts will come in with the reserves. Sarah Al-Sabahin will check in as well. McHenry in there with Johnson. Both Johnsons, in fact. Daz Johnson and Lanika Johnson. Not related. One from Louisiana, the other from Texas. Kramer gets the ball at the left wing. Al-Sabahin on her. Has to dribble to avoid the 5 count. She does. Kimbrough, Brett, Kramer, Tenney, Schimmel, all in for the Blue Dragons. Kramer worked her way in from about 14, couldn't get it to go, but fouled on the way up by Lanika Johnson.
So Sarah, who has not scored in the game, should get 1 or 2 right here.
First one is good, and Kramer is on the board.
All right, I'm going to test the announcer's jinx. The Dragons have not missed a free throw all afternoon. I maintain I do not have that power.
You do not. We saw Jim Nance. He did not have that power in the Super Bowl. And Kramer, oh, it rattled out. Oh, how unlucky. Because, you know, I mentioned it a couple of times at about that point at the free throw line, too, and I was worried. But it works against you, Rusty Hills. First miss for the Dragons from the free throw line.
It is such an awesome power.
But you'll take that kind of shooting from the charity stripe any day. Roberts in there for a long 3 right over the top of Schimmel. Her second 3 of the game. 86-49, Dragons in control with 3.5 left here in Garden City. Ball works left wing to Brett. Brett throws it to a wide open Schimmel. She passed, made the cut. No one went with her, and Schimmel becomes the 10th Blue Dragon to score. Boyd goes right side. The post player tried to become a guard and find the guard underneath, but because she's a post player, threw it too strong and away from Lanika Johnson. 3 minutes to go. 88-49. Blue Dragons lead it here in Garden City. Ball goes far side to Brett, and Brett, in her attempt to jab step and make the fake, walked with it.
Well, a most satisfying afternoon for Hutchinson. I'm sure they came out here expecting a great deal more of a battle than they have gotten.
Started off with a lot of air balls in that first half from the Broncbusters. In fact, at one point had more air balls than made field goals. As Kelsey Brett picks up her second foul of the contest. Kelsey McHenry worked down the inside and drew the foul. McHenry has not scored. Scored 9 against the Blue Dragons in the sports arena. Still has not scored as the first free throw is no good. Was in foul trouble against Seward. In fact, only played 8 minutes in that game and left the second free throw here short. So the score stays the same at 88-49. Blue Dragons with 2:41 to go. Kelsey Brett this time decides not to dribble and passes to keep the offense moving out of that left corner. John Onches coaching as if it were a 2-point ball game. He's up. Ball works up top to Brett. Brett the runner in the paint, no good. Rebounded by Kimbrough. And as Kimbrough went for the rebound, she got the body-to-body contact from Daz Johnson. Just the third foul on the Broncbusters. Blue Dragons will inbound from the baseline. First on Daz Johnson, the 6'1" sophomore from Tyler, Texas. 2 points for her, both from free throws. Had an 11-11 game against the Blue Dragons earlier this year. Sarah Kramer off the inbound, no good. Rebounded by Tenney. Ball works high now to Milan Schimmel. Schimmel to crossover against Roberts will work more offense to Brett. Brett looks for a cutting Kramer. Kramer will reverse court, as will the ball. Kramer from the left wing, inside left block to Schimmel. Schimmel has to kick it out. From 16, it's Keely Tenney. Tenney with 8 points, half of them from the free throw line, other half from the floor. Ball works inside out to Lanika Johnson, Broncbusters. Nice little crossover on Kramer, but too strong on the shot off the glass. 1:36 left. Blue Dragons up 90-49. Closing moments of this one here on Ron Schwartz Court. Kelsey Brett inside to Tenney. Tenney, the touch pass underneath to Tiana Kimbrough. And Kimbrough has 12.
Blue Dragon post players have just worn out Garden City.
Broncbusters go inside. There's Roberts. Thought she would be a much bigger factor in this game. Just put in her 13th point. And with a minute left, it's 92-51.
For her to be a factor, she would have had to score 54, because that's what the deficit is right now.
Dragons work the ball around right corner to Kramer for three. Sarah Kramer knocks down the tray. That's good for her. 0 for 3 from distance in that last game against Northwest Tech. It's got to feel good to put one down. Half a minute left. Dragons 95, Broncbusters 51. Boyd on the inside, no good. Offensive rebound to Daz Johnson. Kicks it out to Roberts. Roberts pump fake for three. Dribbles in from 15, no good, but there's Boyd with another offensive rebound, and that putback gives her 5. Shot clock is dark. That should take us to zeros. Dragons 95, Broncbusters 53. And all Milan Schimmel has to do is dribble this one to its completion. Some Broncbusters already headed to the bench as time ticks away. Dragons win it here in Garden City, 95-53. We'll give you the numbers when we come back in 2 minutes.
When you're looking for jewelry that's one of a kind, remember Amelia Bedelios, filled with thousands of beads and stones. And with my passion for design, I can create something that's perfect for you. Amelia Bedelios, 115 and a half South Main Street in downtown Hutchinson. Go Blue Dragons.
This is Kelly, owner of Brick House Boutique. Stay warm and look fabulous at the same time with comfy, trendy, and affordable clothing. You'll also appreciate the personal attention that you'll always get when you shop at Brick House Boutique. Big City Chic in a downtown boutique at 117 South Main in Hutchinson.
HCC Sports is brought to you by the Sportscaster Club members. Portfolio Recovery Associates, Dr. Robert F. of the Hutchinson Clinic, Barkley Plumbing, Vernon Chiropractic Center, Tim and Gina Ritter, along with Brian Strange of the Green Vision Group, Sutton Kaufman Transportation.